So I have two different knives here from different companies, and I'm featuring them in the same video because they're both designed by Tiguass. So since they're both designed by the same designer, I figure we might as well show them in the same video. So let's check them out. So let's check out the Cavol knives first. Now everything will be linked down in the description from this video if you want to purchase it, or if you just want to see more information that maybe I miss or don't say. So we have this little Cavol knives, and I gotta say the front flipper works so good on this knife, and the blade, I freaking like this blade. It's an M390 HAWKBILL blade, so it's like a little claw. Now, the only reason why people get scared of HAWKBILLs is because they think it's difficult to sharpen. They are not difficult to sharpen. They are just as easy as anything else. The only difference is you have to use a slim stone. With this one, it doesn't even have that much curvature, so you really could probably get by with a regular 1-inch stone. But I would recommend using a 1/2-inch stone or a round stone. But man, oh man, this is front flipper snappy. I would have looked at this and thought, no, there's no way that front flipper is going to work good. You know, just because it's not poking up enough, but they did the texturing and the jimping on it perfectly, and they tuned the detent very well to the jimping. And I know that's a weird statement. I said this in another video. But when you can apply enough pressure that you're not sliding off and the jimping is actually sticking to you and actually catching you, and by that time, you know, it's sticking before you slip off of it, the detent breaks, then it's very well tuned for that jimping. And it also sounds really cool when I close it, if you can hear that. It's got a nice little ting. One more. Anyways, the titanium frame lock has this laser etched titanium insert in it. I love the pivot. Look at that pivot. I think their pivots look really good. Nice pivot collar on this side, and you can see the laser etched titanium transfers over to this side, which is really smart. A lot of people do not like something being done on one side and not the other. We have a milled titanium pocket clip with the Tiguass logo. You can see the jimping right there from when it's opened, which, you know, is another thing I definitely appreciate. This is compact, right? However, this is a very useful little knife. Because of the HAWKBILL blade, this is something that would be a master at utility cutting, opening things up. This is a knife that would win the championships for opening things up. You know, just the blade shape, the ergonomics, the way you can pinch grip it, how much control you have over it, you know, just makes for a fantastic little opener or you know, a utility cutter or whatever. This tip is nice and pronounced. Good geometry too. It's not super thick, but it's also not super thin. It's right there in the happy medium zone. But if you did want to slice something open with it, you can get a full 4-finger grip. And I noticed that this sway back, you know, type of handle does kind of rest right in my palm like that, which is actually pretty comfortable. And you know, you can obviously turn it around and do reverse grips, which is also extremely comfortable if you have to like grab a strap and cut it or something. But the pinch grip is where it's at. This is, you know, the primary grip for something like this. Now, as far as the titanium handle goes, we have a 2-piece construction, so it's like a clamshell. So it's only 2 pieces. Instead of having a backspacer, each scale basically is the backspacer. And yeah, it's pretty cool. Good access to the lock bar, nice comfortable disengagement, very smooth, not like fall shut or drop shutty, but you know, it's, you know, a couple shakes and it's down. It's a light blade, so I'm not mad at that. I think that's very smooth. And I love the sound of this thing. That front flipper, man, works so good. But yeah, man, this thing's pretty cool. You know, it's definitely a compact knife. So, you know, if you're somebody who only likes XL size knives or large knives, it might not be up your alley. But I'll say this, that this is a super duper capable knife. Like, this is a knife that would probably surprise you how useful this knife would be in your hands. You know, even if you're a guy who likes large knives, trying a knife like this, because of the blade shape, because of the grind, because of just everything, this is a knife that you'd probably gravitate towards as far as use goes. You know, as long, you know, obviously not for like doing repeat cuts as far as cutting down cardboard and stuff, but Most people aren't doing that all day. Most people are opening packages, you know, cutting a strap, cutting a zip tie here and there, maybe doing, you know, a utility cut here and there, tracing something out. Negatives go. Sharpening tool and plunge grind's not bad. You know, I'd usually like a little bit more, but I will say they at least gave you something to sharpen off, which is better than nothing. So I'm happy for that. But I usually like to see a little bit more distance so that you have more sharpenings. The next thing is, and this, you know, this isn't really a big deal at all, but I wish I could access the hole. You know, the hole is not obtainable. It's just too tight. It's more, you know, for weight relieving and aesthetics. But that would be so cool if I could, you know. This would be really cool if it was in a larger version with good access to the hole. But, you know, it's fine. That's not that big of a deal. It's not like there's anything wrong with the knife. It's just a preference. Let's check out the next one. So the next one, and like I said, everything is linked down in the description. The next one's from CMB. This is the CMB. I'll put it on the screen. So let's check out this little CMB. It is a small, compact folding knife. I'll say that right away. The first thing you notice is that, yes, it's small, and it has a wicked blade shape. Look at this blade shape. Is that a straight back? Nope, that's a Persian. So we have a Persian or trailing point Tonto with a dual grind. A lot of belly right there, so you can't get down to like a surface if you wanted to cut like a strap or a rope. That'd be really cool. You don't have much of a hollow grind, but it is nice and thin, so you probably could, you know, get some slicing done if you really needed to. This to me is a little bit more of a self-defense style knife. Even though it is small and compact, I can get a full 4-finger grip on this titanium frame lock. You can see the CMB and Tiguass logo right there. Good access to the lock bar. Very smooth, not fall shut, but definitely very smooth. Couple shakes, and it is still breaking in. So I can feel the detent ball, you know, is going to break in really nicely. The detent is really good, man. The flipper tab is upswept a little bit. It has nice jimping on it. You can kind of push button it. Yeah, you can push button it, you can. But it seems like it likes that light switch a lot. It does well with both, though. But yeah, super slim in the hand, so it's not like going to be the most ergonomic knife in the world, but I don't think it's trying to be. You know, this is considered probably a light-duty EDC that you could use to open things up here and there, and then possibly for, you know, self-defense purposes, because the way this tip is, this is a very, very pokey tip. This is a tip that's going to go into whatever you puncture, and because it's upsweeps, when you go to puncture, what happens is because it's upsweeping, as it goes in, it's just going to pull itself up into the cut, or into the stab, I should say. So, which is what, you know, trailing points are good at. You know, they're good at using the belly for like skinning and things like that, but the, you know, the tip is devastating when it comes to puncturing. The inside does have a lot of milling on there, so it does, or at least, you know, a bit of milling in there, so, you know, it does bring down the weight, I'm sure, quite a bit. And I also noticed they took out some weight relieving around the flipper tab. But yeah, it's slim, it's sleek, and then when you open it up, you don't expect this blade shape. When I look at it, I look like, oh, it's going to be a drop point. Then you open it up, you're like, no, it's not. It is definitely a wicked little design. But, you know, for people that don't want an obnoxiously big knife, they don't want a large or an XL size knife, they want something compact and small that serves the purposes of this. You know, this thing is very well done. Nice titanium mill pocket clip. Very minimal hardware. The one negative, or a couple negatives I could say if I was going to spit out some negatives, sharpening tool and plunge grind could be a little bit better. You know, it's a little tight to the edge. Yeah, you're going to get a sharpening or two in there, but I prefer to be backed up more. The next thing is T6. I don't like T6s. You know, I'd rather see that be T8, especially on a premium knife. That's not a deal breaker. The clip looks like it should be okay. I usually don't like it when they land on top of lock bars, but this one I think will actually make it. Yeah. Yeah, it's fine. So, no, I didn't have any issues with my pants bunching up here or anything. So, and it is kind of ramped up and it's not a sharp corner. So, Now, one negative I did notice is on their M390, on the card, it says 58 to 62. Now, I like to see 62, but hate to see 58. So I hate that it's such a wide range, you know, of 4 points. Normally we see a variation of 2 points. So between 58 and 62, you know, it makes me wonder, you know, is the M390 any good? You know, when you have that wide of a range, it almost seems like you're just covering bases. But if it's 62, that's great. That's where I want to see it, you know, 61, 62. But 58, that's really soft. So, you know, just since they have that, you know, it makes me think that that's probably where it's going to be, is probably in the lower range. But, you know, I don't know. You know, I'd have to get it hardness tested. Maybe we should send some of their knives to get hardness tested, and we'll see how it turns out. Before we get out of here, let's take a look at the size difference. You can see this is much more compact. But this actually feels smaller in the hand because it's much slimmer. So this one's definitely longer, obviously. This one's more compact, but this one definitely fills out the hand a little bit more, which is also really cool to the usefulness of the blade. This one's going to be, I would even say that this one's probably a lot better for self-defense, even though, you know, a HAWKBILL blade is really good for self-defense, and I have no doubt that, you know, in the reverse grip or something, this wouldn't be devastating. You know, in the right hands, but this one's definitely going to be, you know, you're going to get more distance, a lot better puncturing, things like that. Yeah, there you guys go. Work hard, stay tough. Until next time, peace.